Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. A couple of quick housekeeping items. This is obviously not in my studio, not my normal camera or sound. Won't be back for a few more days. So I thought it more important to get this done so that when I get back to the office, we can continue to talk to real estate investors and millionaires every day for all of you. So what this is going to be is this is going to be a live stream of basically my speech or keynote at the real estate hybrid event. I'm going to give you a little bit of housekeeping because you're going to be watching this, and I want you to make sure you understand who is in the audience because the message you're about to see is very focused. So there were about 250, perhaps as high as 300 real estate investors, real estate brokers, real estate agents, right? Very, very big audience in the real estate profession. I was asked to come in and kind of do a couple of things. First, scare them. Second, motivate them. That was what I was asked to do. So you can be the judge at the end of this presentation. Did I do it? Did I accomplish my goals? So with that, we are going to get in. This is not aimed at first-time home buyers. Remember, 300 brokers, agents, and investors. This is not a first-time home buyer video. So we're just clear on that. So, okay, I get brought to the stage, rocking and rolling music, standing ovation, whatever it is. Here we go. So a couple of quick things, I call them housekeeping items. I'm now talking to the audience, right? So I did a talk, no presentation. I have my notes over here. So I'll be looking over here at my notes to make sure I follow the same flow. So again, quick housekeeping items for the audience and for the viewers here on YouTube. One, this is going to be an honest discussion. It is going to be my thoughts about the housing market. This is going to be my honest thoughts about a market I've been studying for 30 years. Two, it is very likely that you will not like some of the things or maybe even all of the things I have to say. Third, I am wrong all the time. But given the data that I have at hand today on August 15th, these are my thoughts. They could change tomorrow. But as of August 15th, these are my honest thoughts on a market that, again, I have been looking at for 30 years. Lastly, one of the takeaways that I hope you get from this video or this talk at this event is 3 little words. Do the work. You're going to hear that a couple more times in this presentation. I believe all of us control our future, even in the face of scary times, even in the face of a recession and maybe a real estate depression. Do the work matters. Next up, something I did at this event is I brought a bunch of these cards because I had heard there was a lot of One Rental at a Time fans in the audience, and all of you were amazing. I gave out lots of these cards to people who had closed transactions. If you don't know what these are, folks, this is something I've been doing since very early on in YouTube. It's my way of tracking impact. I want you to do the work. I want you to buy great deals. I don't want you to overpay. I don't want you to do negative cash flow, none of those things. But if you get a deal and you think it's a great deal and it closes, I want to send you one of these. All I need is your address. Let's go. Nice. I will ship to Europe, Asia. I've sent one to Africa. I will send these wherever I need to go. So the first question that I asked the audience, and I am asking you in YouTube land, why did you get into real estate? Why'd you get into real estate? So at this point, the audience was screaming, which is what I wanted, right? So if you want, you can put your thoughts in the chat, right? Let's make this interactive for me and you. Why did you get into real estate? Why are you interested in real estate, right? Let's see if anybody responds. Any chat, any messages. All right, you guys are still asleep, no problem. So yeah, financial free, right? Oh, thank you guys. That's awesome. So in a room full of real estate brokers, the first answer, and I would have guessed it, was make a lot of money, high income. I said, great. Number 2, what else? Wealthy, right? They wanted to be wealthy. Number 3, and this is what Olivia and I did. We got started, rightly, wrongly, whatever, because we wanted a better retirement. We were not thinking financial freedom. We were thinking, hey, could 4 rentals make our retirement years better? Think about that. We were 30 years old and we were saying, hey, if we got 4, just 4, and by 60 they're paid off, that would be better. That's why we did it. Along the way, there was a 4th option, and many of you put it down. I'll give Janet, I think Janet was first with this, financial freedom. After about 6 years, maybe it was 7, we started looking at the numbers and realized that, wow, this little trickle had turned into a stream and was really something. So financial freedom is certainly out there. I do want to be very clear, and we'll see this at the end, kind of the closing slide. I am not a get-rich-quick guy. I am not a maximum leverage guy. I'm the do the work, figure out average, buy great deals, 30-year fixed rate debt, recycle capital. That's kind of who I am in a nutshell. So, okay. So what I want you to do now, if you can, if you're driving, I understand you can't, I want you to pull out a blank sheet of paper, something like this, right? I did this in the room, and I gave them a couple of minutes. What I asked these people, again, remember, who's in the room? 300 real estate agents, real estate brokers, and investors. I said, do yourself a favor. Take 2 minutes and write down everything that worked last year. Everything that worked. Write down how much money you made, how many deals you closed. Write down whatever you want, right? You basically should feel really, really good about the last 2 or 3 years. Right? The last 2 or 3 years you've been watching this channel, all of my experts, it has been easy to make a lot of money in real estate. If you were a listing agent, done. You were a buyer's agent, hard, but you got deals done. If you're an investor, flipper, it was really, really easy. So what I did in this story is I gave them 2 minutes. I was just pacing on the stage back and forth. I made some jokes with the audience. I knew some of the people in the front row. But this is what I did after about 2 or 3 minutes. I said, take that piece of paper, put it in your left hand, ball it up, and throw it in the air. Woo! Because nothing you do the next 3 years is going to be what you did the last 3 years. The market has changed. And you should have seen 300 people throw this piece of paper in the air. It was kind of awesome. It's kind of awesome. So again, I want you to realize the market has changed. The Fed has broke housing. This is an important topic we talked a lot about on stage. I had to educate the room what I meant by the Fed broke housing. You've seen me talk about these numbers, but this is what I did. I said, folks, do you know how many residential properties, single family homes, have an interest rate sub 3%? The answer, of course, according to Black Knight, is 13%. Folks, do you know how many folks have a 3.5% mortgage or lower? 50% Black Knight. Folks, do you know how many people have 4%? 83%, right? So you've heard these numbers before. The idea is the housing market is broken. And I believe over the next 3 to 4 years, we are going to see a housing crash in transactions like you have never experienced. Nobody in the room experienced 81 and 82. 81 and 82 were the last years that housing crashed 50% in transactions. It was the birth of Carlton Sheets, Robert Allen, creative financing. It will be the birth again, but we have to get there. Pace Morby, Ty, who has done bonus sections for one rental at a time, and others. Creative financing. And this is where I told the audience, why is Olivia and I spending thousands of dollars of our own money to be at this event? Because my tool belt, buying out of the MLS, seller financing, raising private money, is incomplete. I am sitting here on this stage as an expert with 20 years experience telling the entire audience, I need to do more. I need to do better. There are more ways to help people, more ways to invest in properties. So again, the Fed broke housing. And then I went on to say, folks, we've talked about it on my channel, one rental at a time. I had Lance Lambert, Fortune magazine editor. We interviewed him 3 weeks ago. He had an epiphany. He talked about moving from Boston, I believe, to Tennessee. And he said, Michael, I should have bought a bigger home. What do you mean? Well, your Fed broke housing statement, I am living that right now. What do you mean? Well, when my wife came here, we had one child. Now she's pregnant and we have a second. And unfortunately, we have a 2.6% 30-year mortgage on our brand new home. And in order to buy a home with another bedroom, our payment would almost triple. I'm like, Lance, welcome to the Fed broke housing. Lance will not be a seller and Lance will not be a buyer. The only time that Lance and his wife will be a buyer is if they have another one or maybe another one, right? At some point, life events will occur where he'll have to move, right? It's uncomfortable to have the baby sleeping on a couch, for example. But we are not going to be in an environment where a first-time home buyer comes in. This for 40 years, this was real estate. Somewhere between 25 and 32, you bought your first home. You stayed in that home between 5 and 8 years. At that point, you sold your first home to another first-time homeowner. And you moved up. For 40 years, rates were trending down. So the move up was easier. You took your equity from A, moved it to B, your rate went from 7 to 5.25, easy payment. Folks, housing market is broken. The housing market, as I told the folks in the room, again, remember who these are: real estate brokers, real estate agents, real estate investors. I told them, and this hurt. I heard the audience actually gasp. Folks, real estate transactions could be down 30 to 50% for the next 3 or 4 years. And I just left that in the middle of the room and let the audience gasp. And then I asked them to challenge them. I said, how many of you are running a business that would not survive if 50% of transactions? There are going to be some hard choices. I believe the real estate market is in a depression that will lead to an economic recession. And if you watched my daily live stream, you saw this morning that National Association of Builders said that exact same thing this morning. Something we have been talking about in this channel for months. I really do look at this market every day. The things are lining up as you and I have been talking about. And again, a crash in real estate transactions does not mean pricing crash. We will certainly have pain in cities like Boise or Phoenix or Vegas, but national numbers, I think they're relatively flat for 3 to 5 years. But again, remember, folks, it doesn't matter what I think. Everyone in this room has a buy box, whether you like it or not. Maybe you're looking in Texas. Maybe you're looking in Somerville, Vegas. Maybe you're looking in wherever. You have a buy box. You need to look at that every day. You need to know that buy box better than anyone else. That is, do the work. So again, folks, I want to tell everybody in this room, the last 3 to 4 years are gone. Anything that worked last 3 or 4 years, probably not going to work this year. Folks, all the money you made the last year, not going to work this year. But that said, what is going to be the opportunity of the next 3 to 4 years? Well, folks, this is our time. This, again, is why I'm at this event. I believe the 30-year mortgage with a 2 on it or a 3 on it is a generational asset. I believe that there will be a recession if we are not in one already. I believe there will be sellers that have to sell. There will be sellers who got in with no equity that need to get out. And I want to help them, whether it's subject to or seller financing or whatever it is. I am here to learn and skill up. I need to add new tools to my tool belt, and sub 2 and creative financing is that. That is what I need. Again, this market is changing. I want people to realize it's not better or worse. It's just changing. Here is a great comment from a speaker earlier in the meeting. I am not a race car enthusiast. I don't watch racing. But apparently this is true. Do you know how Indy or Daytona can get a 15-car lead in a race? If you don't know these sports, these cars are essentially the same. They are engineered to be the same. So the only way you get a 15-car lead is in the rain. In the rain. Think about that. In dry, perfect condition, not 15 cars. You add some water, the best of the best of the best, 15-car lead. Bad weather. Folks, that's what we are headed in the next 3 to 4 years. Bad weather. It is our job to skill up, to do the work, to understand average, to help more people. There will be plenty of opportunities for you to make money, to build wealth. This is not the last 3 years. I would not build a big flipping business today. I would not do that. This is about helping sellers, understanding what pay. Now let's talk about this bad weather. It has just started. I need people to hear this. July 20th, I had a video on my channel 3 weeks before the date saying, here's the date. This is when it's going to change. And it did. But what we are seeing right now is exactly what we talked about. Lots of buyers disappeared. Lots of sellers, FOMO, fear of missing out, listing. There's a lot of junk in the system. I suspect over the next 30 to 60 days, agents, you're going to have more cancellations, more expireds than you've had in 10 years. You agents need to guard your time. Listing agents, again, remember that piece of paper, threw it away? You need to have hard conversations day one. Do not take listings. Last 3 years, a seller wanted 50K over, you took it, and you probably sold it. Next, don't do that. You are just guaranteeing angry phone calls. Buyers agents, here's a gem for you. Buyers agents, and hey, let's see if we can get the audience here on this chat to answer this question. What buyers were ignored for 2 years? Think about it. Which buyers were ignored for 2 years? Answer: FHA, VA, first-time home buyers. Guess what I would focus on? If I was an agent, buyer's agent, I would spend days, weeks, and months learning the lingo of FHA, VA. I would market to first-time home buyers. I would be active in Facebook groups. This is the time. 30-year fixed rate, don't pay list price, get closing costs, get rate buy down, all of those things. Now, investors, you need to be different as well. A lot of you in this room, and you've all told me, flipping was easy. Well, guess what? It won't be. Many of my experts have now taken their buy box and really tightened it up, staying below the median, doing lipstick versus adding square footage. Be smart. Be smart. Investors buy and hold. This is the time to be very creative. As an investor, I am excited. I am more excited today than I have been in 2 years. The last 2 years for me, it was speed and cash. Neither of those I liked. I could do it, but I didn't like it. What is coming up? Motivated sellers, seller financing. Not quite yet. We still got to get through this noisy August and maybe a little bit of September. But I believe after the election, which is, oh, by the way, Thanksgiving to New Year's. Thanksgiving to New Year's. If you've heard my story, we've done 60% of our best deals every year between Thanksgiving and New Year's. Who is selling homes Thanksgiving to New Year's? Motivated sellers. Motivated sellers. Okay. So another image I tried to talk about was how many of you, you've been on a trip, maybe a foreign country, and you're on one of those old buses, right? One of those old buses that would never be around in the United States. It's probably 50 or 60 years old. It's all beat up. It probably smells. It makes some noise. But you just got off a cruise or you're just doing a trip and you want to see this church on top of the mountain, for example, or maybe it's a winery or whatever it is. So you're on this bus. I believe if you can close your eyes and put yourself on this bus, you have three options. One, you could sit in the seat closest to the wall, right? You see this jagged edge. It's just all ugly and dirty and, it's scary. But hey, you're far away. Two, you could be close to the edge and going, oh my God, we're going to fall. I hope I make it home, blah, 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 all of that stuff. There is a third option. And this is what I hope all One Rental at a Time fans do, because you're doing the work. I want you to look out. Look at the view. Look at the skyline. Look at the city. Don't get distracted by the negativity and the crash. Don't look at what could happen in disaster. Do the work. Learn average in your buy box. And hey, if you can't find a great deal, it's okay. Do the work. You have to do the work. So again, the Fed broke housing, transactions crashing 30 to 40%. What you are likely seeing today is wish pricing. You're seeing cancellations, expireds. You're also seeing buyers that are scared, right? We have seen 18 million folks who could qualify at 3, can't qualify at 6. Real demand destruction. I believe what you're also going to see is real supply destruction. This move-up market is dead. Dead. When a move-up market, they used to sell one home and buy another. That's 2 transactions. They're not moving. They're buying bunk beds instead of moving. It is going to be bad for 3 or 4 years, at least. So we will see what's going on. So again, I think this all works itself out eventually. I am not a housing bull nor a housing bear. I think housing, generally speaking, at the national level will be flat, much like Mark Zandi. I've been calling for a flat market for several months now. I think what will happen over the next 5 years is wages will increase. If you get 6% wage increases for 5 years, that's a compounded average of almost 36%. Wages will go up. Wages will eventually make housing more affordable. If we do that into a lower rate environment, all the better. There will certainly be some cities, and if you're in this room and you are fishing in Boise or Phoenix or Vegas, yeah, you're going to have some trouble. Be careful. Be careful. Don't be a hero, right? There are some markets that are in big trouble. But again, national median home price, I suspect, is basically flat for 3 to 5 years. I think wage increase will help that out. So in closing, sorry, dry throat. In closing, I wanted everyone to hear the 7 or one rental at a time rules. Number 1, focus. You need a buy box. It needs to be something you can look at in 20 minutes. It needs to be tight, focused. Number 2, daily discipline. I'm asking for 20 minutes a day. You need to know it. You need to document. You need to see what's changing. You shouldn't be looking at month on month or year on year numbers. In your buy box, look at day on day, day on day. You need to do that. Month on month is a horrible real estate number. Folks, month on month goes up and down every year. Did you know that the most expensive and biggest homes are sold in the summer? And then when you get to August and September, they're not. So guess what happens every year? 2021, 2020, 19, 18, month on month down. I suggest you look at day on day or year on year. Month on month is like sugar. It gives you a little boost, but it's not interesting and not valuable. Number 3, grow your network. In my 7 rules, it challenges you to meet 2 people a week. I challenged that room to meet 2 people a day. Figure these are professionals. This is what they're doing. They should try to meet 2 people a day. Number 4, you do not walk into an environment and know what a great deal is. That's not how this works. You must buy box, daily discipline, learn average. You have to know what an average deal is. Once you know average, the world is your oyster. You can do whatever you like because you know what a good or great deal is. Let me be clear. If you watch some of my old videos, we talk about good and great. We have entered a bad market, right? A changing market, motivated sellers. Most of us, including myself, do not have endless capital. I am only doing great deals. Good has left the building. I am only doing great deals. I suggest you do the same. Number 5, bad things happen. You are in the real estate profession. Your sellers will disappoint you. Your buyers will disappoint you. Your investor friends and contractors, you have chosen to be in a profession that is people-based. You are going to have expensive mistakes. Learn, implement processes, and move on. Number 6, if you're going to follow one rental at a time, the path to a better future is easy. It is well laid out. But it is a 5 to 10 year commitment. It is not a 5-minute, a 5-day, a 5-month commitment. There is no easy button with one rental at a time. There is no easy button with real estate. This is get rich for sure, not get rich quick. And then finally, the most important rule, in my opinion, that is most often ignored. You need to cut out negative people. Is your network helping or hurting? I know a lot of you are watching YouTube channels that skew negative. I know you are watching those with the bias of, hey, let me get more information. Folks, you are tainting your opinions. You are having negative people who have no motivation than to make a penny off your view. You have to do the work. Stop listening to renters talk about real estate investing. Yes, folks, there are large YouTube channels where the prognosticator is a renter. Probably not someone I would listen to. Maybe it'd be better to listen to someone who's been doing it 20 years, that got in before, survived, and profited from the last one. Might be a better idea. Again, folks, you need to cut out the negativity. The world is full of it. Look at politics. Look at all of the news media. It is so negative. We need to do a better job of self-insulating ourselves from negativity. And that includes cutting out things and also cutting out people. So again, folks, that was my talk. It was actually an hour long when I did it on stage because we were interacting with the audience. Looks like this one took us 30 minutes. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found value. Thank you for all 151 of you watching. We have 34 thumbs up. Hopefully that goes up. Take care of yourself. Olivia and I are going to go out, and I don't know what we're doing today, but we're going to have some fun. Bye.